And hello YouTube, this is GSmaniamsmart, and I'm today on a brand new video for Gaming with GS, and today we're here on Guild Wars 2, and I want to talk about the recent current event and some of the updates that they put into the game. There were actually very few updates in the recent patch. They have added some new Halloween stuff into the gem store, so the Halloween festivity will be coming very soon. They also added a new door in the aerodrome, so that may be hinting that we may be getting a new raid soon, but other than that, there wasn't anything really crazy in the last patch that we got. A lot of bug fixes and the usual, but we did get a new current event. Now I'm really excited for Halloween. I hope it's coming soon. Like I said, they added stuff into the gem store, but Halloween is my favorite festivity, and definitely when the event comes, I'll be making an updated video to last year's Halloween guide. We do have last year's Halloween guide still on the channel, but I think there's going to be some new stuff. Remember, developers didn't say, but articles that were posted on the release of the Last Living World episode, they did bother to mention that developers were excited for the Halloween festivities, that they'd be bringing new things to the festival events. So maybe we'll be seeing some brand new things. I don't know, but I'm really excited for that. But let's go ahead and jump into the current events that they put into the game. As it's been pretty clear now, in between these Living World seasons episodes that we're getting, so in between episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, in between those, we are going to be getting more current events to do. And I like the little format, as I've said in previous videos. I think it's a great way to keep players interested and to continue to tell the story a bit more. It doesn't push the story forward, but it does give us some more information about the story. And I gotta tell you, with this update, with the new current event they put into this patch, it's really cool. I like this type of current event. It's a bit annoying. You'll see later on as we talk about it a bit more. They could have refined this a bit more, but there's two parts to this current event, and I'm going to talk about one of them first that I especially like because it sort of brings back old-fashioned questing. Now, I grew up on Final Fantasy, EverQuest 2, a little bit of World of Warcraft. I didn't really like that one too much though, but I grew up on those MMOs and those games, and there was a lot of traditional questing, and even Skyrim still has traditional questing, and I like that type of questing. I mean, yes, it's really cool to see ArenaNet bring a game that strays off from the the regular MMO formula, and it has a different questing style with hearts and whatnot. But I miss the old questing system. I've played Guild Wars for so long now, and I kind of miss the old-fashioned questing system where you have a list of things to do and you really get to know some lore and really get to know some story as you talk to different NPCs. And it seems like they've brought this back just a little bit. The achievements section, the heroes panel, is actually being very useful now by giving you the ability to see what comes next, what you have to do next. It gives you a little checklist, and this is what one of the achievements for the current event revolves around. You're basically given several tasks to do, several tasks to complete, and it gets check marked off, and they have to go to the next person and talk to another NPC, and you get a lot of good story out of this. And the reason why this specific patch is so exciting is because you actually get to make a choice in this achievement for the current event in joining one side, either the consortium, or joining the other side, the priory. And it seems like this is being set up for some future current events where the choice you make could impact the story later on. And I really like that. I really like how this current event and this specific achievement I'm going to talk about is called the Burden of Choice, can possibly have some impact on future patches and future content. Hopefully they'll use the achievement panel and the heroes panel a bit more, because I do like how it looks, how we're able to check our progress and see what we need to do next. I do like the small bit of traditional questing system. They don't want to put in a quest journal because everyone will get really crazy, but they sort of implemented it a bit into the achievement panel, and I like that. I think it's a neat little addition, and they're testing it out to see how people react to it, and so far I've seen a lot of positive feedback, including myself right now, as I'm giving positive feedback to it as well. So what do you have to do for this one achievement, Burden of Choice? Well, it kind of starts off with having to find a sad anomaly. Now, all this time we've only ever seen the anomalies. We've been fighting the anomalies. They've been appearing everywhere, but it's never really been explained to us what they are or how they came here. And this is kind of what this specific achievement and current event is addressing. But essentially, you have to find a sad anomaly. Now, these only appear client side, so sometimes you may see one on your screen. Sometimes another person may not see it. They appear randomly. I actually found my sad anomaly while I I was recording the Traveler's Tale episode, the last video, I found it in the Iron Marches, so it can pretty much appear anywhere. I have seen someone say that they were standing in the guild hall for about an hour or two, they still haven't found an anomaly, so maybe the guild hall isn't the best places to stand and wait. But pretty much anywhere, I'm guessing you can see the sad anomaly, and all you have to do is walk up to it, and you can't interact with it, you can't even do anything, you just have to walk up to it and sort of just walk through it, or at least witness it and walk close to it, and you'll get the achievement for that. It's what starts the achievement quest burden of choice. I'll leave a screenshot on screen right now of what it looks like, since I obviously already did that part of the achievement. I wasn't recording at that time, so that's kind of what it looks like. This is what you want to look for, and once you have encountered the sad anomaly, you'll get a check mark on the first part of your little quest journal in the achievement section. Now after that, it tells you have to go to the Derman Priory, which is in Lorner's Pass. You have to talk to someone named Ogden, and once you have that done, you have to talk to someone named Tranton. After you talk to Ogden, which is just across the hall in the Derman Priory, so you have to enter one of the instances at the back of the Derman Priory. There's an instance you have to go into, and that's where the NPCs are. And if you have completed the Bloodstone Harvest achievement, or you've at least completed some of it, then you'll basically can skip ahead, because as you'll see in the achievements section, you do need to see some Bloodstone sightings. So as long as you have a few of those done, you should be okay. But as you're progressing through these NPCs and talking to them, you get a lot of lore and a lot of story based on the anomalies, and I really like that. This is something that we've been waiting for, for the past month or two, or maybe even 3 months. We've been seeing these anomalies, but we never really have an idea of what these are. After you have done your Bloodstone sightings, you have to talk to a tradesman in Lion's Arch, and after you talk to him, you have to go back to Tranton, and after that, you basically have to pick. You can either talk to Tranton, or talk to the tradesman again in Lion's Arch, and depending on who you talk to, you're basically going to pick a side, whether you want to join the consortium or whether you want to support the priory. Now be aware that as you make your selection, you do also get certain items from your selection. Now if you do decide to go with the tradesman in Lion's Arch, you do get a snake oil that lasts for 4 hours. Now this snake oil gives you a buff. It's the same buff that the crate oil gives you, but it's a 4-hour version, so I guess it's something. And if you decide to go with the Priory, I obviously decided to go with the Priory because I was on my Wizard, and my Wizard has the, my Elementalist has the Priory outfit on, so I obviously went with the Priory. But if you decide to go with the Priory, you do get a item called a Reforged Shadow Stone. Now, as of right now, there is no use to this item. I have a feeling, though, that we're going to be using this item for a future current event or for future content, so I wouldn't throw it away just yet if you have it in your inventory. Maybe we won't be using it for anything, but it just seemed kind of weird. Why would they give us an item and there'll be no use for it? Now, the interesting part about choosing a side is obviously there may be a future patch or a future content that is affected by this, but also you can actually buy snake oil from the tradesman in Lion's Arch for 10 silver if you decide to actually join his side. But if you decide to support the Priory, this snake oil actually costs 5 gold. So it's a neat little thing. It's nothing huge, obviously, but it was nice to see that there's actually some consequences in deciding to choose different sides. I have not found out what the consequences if you decide to join and support the tradesman in Lion's Arch and not the Priory. I haven't found that out yet, but I guarantee you that there's some impact to this in the future, and it's nice to see that we have this type of questing system. It's a small step toward the direction to people who like the old-fashioned questing system. It obviously won't be a core thing in the game, but it is in the game. I like the current event, this specific achievement. You do have a choice to decide which side you want to go on, and that's always nice to see in the game, that you have different paths to go down, and who knows, maybe we'll get more branching paths in the future that will really bring some old-fashioned questing into the game that some people are missing and some people would like to see. At least a small portion of the game should include that. Now, the other current event that we have, it's basically the same current event, but it's 2 achievements to it. The second achievement that we have is one that revolved around rifts. Now, these rifts are in Gillscale Pond. This is going to be in the Fields of Ruin. There's a nearby waypoint to it, southeast of it. But essentially, what you have to do is you have to go up to the pond here, and you have to look for a Class 1 Magic Rift. There's going to be a lot of these rifts around this pond. This pond is the place where all the rifts are spawning, so you'll see later on you need to jump into a lot of these rifts. They're all going to be spawning around the pond. So first step is to jump through one of the rifts near the pond, and essentially you're going to fall from the sky into the pond, and you're going to swim under the water and look for an item on the floor with question marks on it. Now this is a mysterious device that after you talk to an NPC called Wieldbringer, he'll tell you it's a char in the area. He's nearby the pond, so just look around near the pond and the char will be there. Now when you talk to the char, he'll give you sort of a briefing and tell you what this class 1 rift stabilizer is used for. Essentially what you'll need to do is use the class 1 rift stabilizer, which is the item that you have now, and go up to the different rifts around the area, around the pond. Now, what you'll need to do is there's only one button you can press on the rift stabilizer, which is the number 1 key. When you have a rift targeted, you can press the 1 key, and you'll see like a beam of light come out of the device and basically attach itself to the rift. So you have like this. If you're familiar with the Ascalon dungeon, when I think it's path 2, when you have to like pick up the globs to kill the ghost. It's very similar to that, only it's a white light this time. But essentially when you press 1 on one of the rifts, you'll get this stream of light going towards it, and you don't want to just stay still. What you'll have to do is look down at your 1 key again. You'll start seeing numbers. You'll probably see a number 1 in Roman numeral. If you press 1 again, you'll see a number 2 in Roman numeral. You press it again, number 3 in Roman numeral. It goes all the way up to 13. Now what you'll need to do is, for each time that you press the 1 key with your stabilizer on one of these rifts, you need to jump through while having each number on that number 1 key, jump through it, and it'll bring you to a new area. So for example, if you were to go up to a rift and press the 1 key, you'll see the stream of light and you'll see the number 1 Roman numeral on your 1 action key there. And number 1 will bring you to the pond. So once you've visited the pond, you get out of the pond, go back to one of the rifts, look around for a rift, press the 1 key again, and you'll see a number 1 Roman numeral again on your number 1 action key. What you'll need to do is press the 1 key to get it to a number 2 Roman numeral. That will bring you to Holbrack. Then you go back to the Fields of Ruin. Sometimes if you're lucky, you may get a rift appearing in the location that you got to from the Fields of Ruin. There may be another rift that brings you back to it. If you're lucky, you can jump through that. It will bring you back to the Fields of Ruin. But if not, you'll have to take the waypoint southeast of the pond. You have to go back to the waypoint and then look around the pond, look for another rift, press 1 on it, and then you have to go to number 3. Make sure the Roman numeral says the number 3 on your action key, and then once you get number 3, you jump through it, and you'll be in Cursed Shore. And you keep on doing this until you get to number 13. So you do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. As long as you do all the Roman numerals, then you'll be good. You don't need to do them in order, but you need to visit all the locations. So just keep on going back and forth, and this is a tedious part. They could have refined this a little better. I mean, yes, they do have a rift that sometimes spawns when you get to the location, but if that doesn't happen, you have to keep on, waypointing back and forth, and all the loading screens is kind of annoying. But they could have made like 10 locations or 5 locations, not 13 locations. I don't know why they picked 13 locations. It's kind of a lot. But essentially, as you go through all 13 locations, what happens is after you went through all of them, you have to go through after you went to 13 of them, you have to pick a random number. You can go through number 1 again, but essentially when you go through a 14th time through any of these 13 locations, your device will break. You'll actually get put into the pond again, regardless of what Roman numeral you picked. After you went through all of them, the device will break, and this will be the time when you have to go back to the same NPC char, Wieldbringer, and you need to talk to him, and he'll say, okay, here's a class 2 device. Now the strange part is that the achievement doesn't complete, and the weird thing is, in your achievement panel, there's also nothing showing you progress either, which I found kind of weird, because for the other achievement they actually showed progress, but for this achievement they didn't show any progress. It's kind of weird. But when you have the class 2 device in your inventory, after the other one has brought you to all the different locations, after it's broken, after you talk to the NPC, then you have the class 2 device. What I'm guessing is you have to use the class 2 on other rifts to go to different areas. However, I've tried to search on the internet for some answers on Reddit, on Dolphy's site, on YouTube. Right now, nobody knows what the class 2 rift stabilizer is used for. Nobody knows which rifts you're supposed to use them on. My guess and everyone else's guess is that we're going to be using the Rift 2 stabilizer on a future current event, maybe sometime next week. Maybe it's something very similar to the NPC that was in the last current event, where the NPC goes to different areas of the maps, and you'll have to every week go to the new map and do the little scavenger hunt. Maybe this is something similar to it, where every week you'll get to a new class of Rift stabilizing becomes active. Maybe that's what's happening. I don't know yet, but we'll have to wait and see. The current event just came out, a few days ago on the 4th, so right now everyone is still doing Rift Stabilizer 1, Class 1. So we'll see if Class 2 becomes available anytime soon, and if it does, then I imagine the concept is the same as Class 1. You go up to the rifts, press your 1 key, you go through each Roman numeral, and you jump through the rift. That's what my guess is. Now be aware, when you're jumping through the rifts, you have to make sure that that the light from your device is still attaching to the rift. Don't just drop the device and then jump through. You have to have the Roman numeral blinking at the bottom left on your number 1 action key, and then you can jump through it. I saw a lot of people kind of confused as I was doing it. A lot of people kind of confused and not really knowing what to do. So I just want to make this clear and explain this as best as I can. As you know, relevant footage is in the background. So if you are confused about something, hopefully you're understanding it with the relevant footage in the background that I have there. So those are the 2 achievements that we have. That's kind of what the current event summarizes. Hopefully you're able to understand it. Hopefully you're able to do it. And hopefully we do get Class 2 Rift Stabilizing soon, because if not, I don't really know what the point of this was. And there was no achievement to it either. If you don't get an achievement, don't worry about it, because none of us got an achievement for jumping through all 13 locations. Maybe it's progress that the game is keeping track of, and as we complete, Class 2 stabilizing, then we'll get the achievement. Not sure yet, but so far we're playing the waiting game to see what happens with the Class 2 device. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions or comments, leave it down in the comment box down below. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a like. We have more videos coming in the future. I've just been trying to keep all the channels up to date, been kind of busy with work as well, so I'd like to make more videos, quicker releases, but it's a lot of work. So hopefully enjoying the other content on the channel. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Lots of other Guild Wars 2 content on the channel. We have lots of guides. We have lots of patch summaries. We do recaps. We do discussions about the story. We have gold guides. We have other tips and tricks on the channel. Lots of cool stuff Guild Wars 2 related. Lots of cool stuff gaming related as well. If you're interested in that, I encourage you to subscribe. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. Lots of helpful stuff on here. And like I said, any questions, leave in the comment box below. If you'd like to donate $1 to my Patreon page, anything as low as that, it's very helpful and very much appreciated. Just click the card on the top right hand corner of the screen and it'll bring you to the page. And if you want to check out my advice channel, my music channel, the vlogging channel, or the tutorials channel, you can click the cards on the end card or the links in the description. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching as always. And this is GSmaniamsmart, and I'll be back sooner than you think. Don't go anywhere.